Hello. So this is an answer to a question on helping out family members or people that you're close with when they are unwell, when their health is not doing so good. Maybe they're recovering from something, or the process of how to recover is still unclear, and just some ways that we can interact with people that can be helpful. And this is from the perspective of the person who's unwell. And because I've been in this situation in the past where I've had some health complications that were, well, quite complicated, here's some tips on when you're with someone like that. So number one, if you're wanting to heal or help somebody that you're very close to, very emotionally connected with, you really need to work on that connection. It's very, very difficult to effectively help somebody when you're very close with them. And the reason for this is because we care so much. And this care, of course, will sort of transform into worry and concern. And these are things which don't help when we are being looked at, when from the sick person's view, you're being looked at from the perspective of concern, from the perspective of worry. Because what happens is you end up pressurizing the illness that the person has. You're touching that with your mind. What you touch with the mind grows. Right? Now this is in yourself, but this is also in other people. And this is all happens to be one of the key points that makes a masterful teacher versus a merely adequate teacher. And this comes from, you can learn this from how to interact with people who aren't well. So one, don't pressurize the sickness with your attention. If you are very worried about somebody, of course, what you will see is their illness. You will see the thing that you're worried about. Okay, so we want to instead pressurize a view of them, pressurize the parts of them with our attention that are healthy, that can be healthy, and in our mind, see what the person could be when they're healthy, when they are in their full prime of vitality, harmony, balance, and health. What are they like? And you see that aspect of them. Okay, there's that famous quote from Gandhi, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." And I would take that one step further, which is before that, prior to that, you have to see the change that you wish to be in the world, or that you wish to exist in the world. Whether that's a change in yourself or a change in other people, you need to see this change. So when we are around somebody or have somebody close to us who's unwell, see the change that you want to happen. Now, this doesn't mean, you know, just egg them on or, you know, come on, you got it, let's go, you're healthy, let's go for a run. Because that might really fuck someone over. If you've been unwell for long periods of time, you'll know that you don't need that push. That push isn't what you need. I'm not talking about a push to act as if you had the energy. Because if you don't, and you do act like that, what happens is you end up being in bed for 3 days because you've exhausted all of your energy, right? So this is where it starts, okay? Now, why is this where it starts, and why not build a bunch of energy and saturate the person with it, with all that vitality, and, you know, work right from there? Well, because if we are again, what you touch with the mind grows. And what you touch with the mind under the conditions of amplified energy, it grows that much more because there's a bunch more energy for that aspect of worry or concern to feed, right? So before we look at building energy, before we look at trying to heal someone with energy, we need to first take care of how we see that person. Because if we see them as sick and we amplify the energy in the space in that person, and we're still seeing them as sick, well, you get what I would call the pathology of the healer, right? The pathology of the therapist. And I would also argue the pathology of most teachers as well, is that you see the sickness, you see the part of somebody that can't do a thing or cannot do a skill if you're a teacher. And this isn't what we want to do. We want to see the part of them that is well and see the part of them that can enact the skill, if we're looking from a teaching perspective. Okay, so if this is taken care of, then you can start looking at ways of healing. Okay, now this way of seeing the world is something that we can always improve on. I've been working on it for years to see the positive in people, especially in relation to their health, because I've experienced how dramatic the effect is on me. When you go to a healer or somebody who, that's what they call themselves, and they just look at you out of their own pride and start looking at all the things that are wrong with you. And you can feel your whole field and subconscious starting to collapse and change shape to support their view. And if you're already weak, you will alter and change to the shape that the stronger mind imposes on the world. Okay, and we don't need that if we're unwell. Okay, now when you care about somebody and you love somebody, in this particular case, I think this was somebody's partner, it's that much harder to really look beyond the worry, to experience beyond the worry. So put some time into this, meditate on it, and this, in my opinion, is a really good place to start. Obviously, not a doctor, but from the perspective of somebody who has been in this position of being unwell in the past, I can tell you from my experience, it was tremendously helpful, and I never could have guessed just how helpful it would be prior to having experienced it. All right, hope this was useful for you. Thanks for your time. Bye.